the 59th Grammy Awards. As you probably know, Adele was the big winner of the night with awards including Song, Record, and Album of the Year, although the last one she tried to pass on to Beyoncé, who performed a surreal 9-minute medley. She won 2 awards of her own. That's Beyoncé, a moment she used to speak to the world about her art's mission.
It's important to me to show images to my children that reflect their beauty so they can grow up in a world where they look in the mirror, first through their own families, as well as the news, the Super Bowl, the Olympics, the White House, and the Grammys, and see themselves and have no doubt that they're beautiful, intelligent, and capable. This is something I want for every child of every race.
Others went further, including singer Joy Villa, who wore a Make America Great Again dress with Trump written on the train. Then Grammy host James Corden had a moment or two of his own.
What I'll say is any negative tweets that you see are fake tweets, okay? They are not real tweets. The negative ones are fake. Live it or love because this is the best, and with President Trump, we don't know what comes next.
There was also Katy Perry, who performed in front of a We the People sign, wore an armband that said Persist on it, a la Elizabeth Warren, and a Planned Parenthood button on her jacket. Laverne Cox gave a shout-out to Gavin Grimm, transgender teenager taking his fight for the right to use the boys' bathroom at his school to the Supreme Court. And then came A Tribe Called Quest and Busta Rhymes. More on that in a minute. Joining me to discuss the politics amidst the music are Lauren Beckham Falcone, on-air personality at WRR. It's great to see you, Lauren. And G. Valentino Ball. He's co-founder of KillerBoombox.com, which describes itself as a community of multicultural content creators who strive to reveal the meaning behind the music that moves your soul. It's great to meet you. Thanks so much for being here.
As well.
I expected a steady stream of anti-trumpetry, for lack of a better expression.
That might be the greatest saying. I'm using that.
And we didn't. You can take it. I don't know if I took it. And we didn't get it. Why do you think we didn't get it? We got it in part. We'll get to that in a minute. Why didn't we get it all night long like most people thought, do you think?
I mean, I think that it's just the night. It's about celebrating music. So I think people are getting to that point where you're going to see more and more and more of it. I don't think right now, with last night, with the music that was there, that you were going to see it. But I think over the coming year, you're going to see more and more artists who are going to make political statements in the music. And then next year at the Grammys, you'll see a completely different situation.
Let's go from the more nuanced to the less nuanced, at least in my... Katy Perry, as I said.
Yeah.
First of all, I didn't even mention, she had a white pantsuit on, which I assume was a tribute to Hillary Clinton.
Yes, exactly.
And the persist thing and no hate at the end. How'd that play to you?
Well, I mean, it was to be expected. Katy Perry had been campaigning for Hillary Clinton. She was devastated when it, Trump won, and so it was really. I would not expect her not to say something. She's always been really outspoken. She's not going to lose fans. Her fans are not. Half of them aren't even eligible to vote. So, I mean, my daughter's 13 and loves Katy Perry. Doesn't care if Katy Perry loves Trump or not. So, I think she was able to do that.
What'd you think of Katy Perry?
I thought it was interesting.
That's not good.
Well, it wasn't so much, my critique is more about the song itself. I'm not in love with the song. Like, there's this whole wave of reggae light that's going across the radio, which I'm not a big fan of. But I like the statement of the performance, and she was performing with one of the Marley family, so, you can't really go wrong with that.
And also, I thought her whole political thing sort of neatly fit into what she was saying. It didn't seem like, to me, the politics was here and her performance there. But the people who were totally unnuanced, I think you could say, right in your face, Busta Rhymes in A Tribe Called Quest. I'm sure you've seen this about 3,000 times today.
Yes.
Here's 3001.
I just want to thank President Agent Orange for perpetuating all of the evil that you've been perpetuating throughout the United States. I want to thank President Agent Orange for your unsuccessful attempt at the Muslim ban. When we come together, we the people, we the people.
President Agent Orange, I think we know who that might be.
Yeah.
How does that play on the person sitting at home watching that?
Oh,
what's
listen.
that? Oh, what?
My Twitter timeline exploded. I mean,
saying what kind of stuff?
Like in full support of what he's doing, because Busta and Tribe Called Quest, that is the voice. So when you're talking about how Katy Perry wasn't far off from where the song was, that is right in line with their messaging and who they are as artists. So.
Is it preaching to the converted, or is there somebody watching at home last night who watches that and has their mind cracked open a little bit and says, maybe I should think about this a little bit, even if it isn't conscious? You know what I mean?
I think that, no, I don't think that they're not going to convince, the sort of, guy sitting at home with his bud and who had voted for Trump.
With his Make,
yeah,
I didn't
Make
mean
America
Trump.
Great, and be like, you know what? They're making a good point.
But
you know what? You're right.
that was a rotten
absolutely
question.
true.
Let me rephrase the question. I'm a huge believer that art and music and performance changes popular opinion much more than speeches from tired old politicians do.
Yeah.
And I guess my question is, over time, if the pace is picked up, as you say it may be, along, is that going to help change the political culture in this country? Or again, is it just going to be people talking to people like them as opposed to talking across the aisle? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that we're going to definitely have a period of people kind of talking to the people that are already in the same vibe and the same inspiration and feeling that they already have. But I think eventually you'll get to a point where there can be conversations. But right now, I think everybody on either side is just
Dug in.
angry
They're
and
absolutely.
dug in.
But it may get them even stronger. I mean, if you watch something and you believe somebody you admire says something to you back at you, it may make you more,
Yeah,
more
I don't
intense.
think right now. I don't think Katy Perry's going to change anybody's mind. I don't think, A Tribe Called Quest is going to change anybody's mind. But I think over time that that people will be able to have conversations.
So there's been a lot of let's step back for a minute to what the major theme, at least in terms of awards last night, Beyonce versus Adele thing. There's been a lot of criticism that the best album, which is the top thing, almost always goes to a white person. And in the conventional wisdom I took out of last night was 25, Adele's album, really good. Lemonade was a masterpiece. Why didn't she win last night?
I think that Beyonce created an album that was very nuanced for her, and it was a voice that was kind of different than what you're normally getting from the Grammys. And keep this in mind: the Grammys, you have nominating bodies that put the songs in, but then the entire membership votes. So you have somebody who is a classical pianist who votes on Album of the Year. So what happens is you have records that are bigger with just crossover appeal, and that are just pop hits. Those many times are the ones that win.
Well, let me rephrase what you said, less polite. A bunch of old white guys couldn't deal with, were made uncomfortable by the message.
I wasn't saying
but
that.
Is that not what you're saying?
No, I would say that if that was what I was saying.
Okay.
Trust me. But I think there is a piece of that. I definitely think there's people who are just uncomfortable with some of the imagery and the conversations and the things that she did.
Yeah.
By the way, I love Adele and I love Beyonce, but
I mean,
and
it's
Adele
the
sort of is an
Grammys.
R&B inspired kind of person.
Ever since Christopher Cross won Album of the Year in 1981, I never trusted the Grammys ever again. It's just whether or not it's like the most popular, what they feel safe doing. I mean, it's at that point when you're like the two of them, they're equally as good. And it doesn't. They should just. Didn't she try to split?
Well,
Yeah,
I don't know if she broke it intentionally in
yeah,
half.
but
she did that great thing.
Yeah, so I really don't trust them necessarily.
Before you go, I mean, whether it's at the Grammys or somewhere, I'm not a shut up and sing. Your buddy Marjorie Egan, my radio co-host, is a shut up and sing kind of woman.
Really?
Do your performance, but don't tell me about your politics. I don't care if you're Sean Penn or Busta Rhymes. I don't care who you are. Don't talk to me. Where are you on that?
I like it. I
So
like
do
to
I.
see what people are saying. I mean, they're artists, and they have things to say, and if they want to say them, then they should be able
What
to
if
say
you don't
them.
like what they're saying?
Then, you know what? But I want to listen to them because I'm like, oh, my God, I really liked that person, but their politics are completely wrong, and then it kind of opens it up for me.
You want to make it unanimous quickly?
I mean, I feel the same way. It really is one of those things where art is a reflection of who you are as a person. So when you get on stage, I want to see who you are. The art that that resonates with me is the art that is really true to the person who's on stage.
It's good to meet you. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you
Lauren,
for having me.
It's great to see you
Great
again.
to see you.
See you soon. Big congratulations as well to the Boston Symphony Orchestra and conductor Andres Nelson. He'll be with us in a few days, as well as Stoughton singer-songwriter Laurie McKenna, who also won Grammys last night.